Commander Allison Wright stood at the window of her quarters aboard the Concordia space station. The giant structure hung in empty space, far from any star system. Below her, countless ships from 24 alien species docked at the massive arms of the station. Lights blinked across the dark metal hull. Concordia had been built for one purpose only: to bring peace to a divided galaxy. She touched the cold glass. After 3 months of talks, it would all end today. A soft chime at her door broke her thoughts. "Enter," she said. Dr. Kevin Martinez walked in, carrying a small data tablet. His usually cheerful face looked tired. "The final scans came in," he said. "They match what we found last week. No doubt about it." Allison nodded. "And Earth Command?" "The message came through an hour ago. We have our orders." She turned back to the window. In the distance, she could see the human ship waiting. The USS Defender stayed far from the other vessels, its engines ready. "Then we do it now," she said. "Call the team. We leave in 3 hours." Kevin looked worried. "The other species will not take this well." "That's not our problem anymore." High Counselor Ilara floated into the grand meeting hall. Her species, the Solari, evolved in low gravity. Her blue skin glowed softly as she moved toward the center platform. As head mediator, she had spent months helping the different species talk to each other. Today was supposed to be a happy day. The treaty was almost ready to sign. She noticed something strange right away. The human seats were empty. Ambassador Jit Kirk of the Mantid Collective clicked his mandibles in anger. "Where are the humans?" he demanded. His voice translator made his words sharp and loud. "We have waited for 20 minutes. Ilara raised her hands for calm. "I will check with their delegation." Just then the main doors opened. Commander Wright walked in with Dr. Martinez and 2 other humans. They carried nothing with them. No notes, no data pads. Their faces looked serious. The room grew quiet as Allison walked to the speaker platform. The aliens watched her with their many different eyes. "Representatives of the Galactic Council," she began, her voice strong and clear. "Humanity thanks you for your efforts toward peace. However, as of this moment, Earth and all human colonies are withdrawing from these talks." The room exploded. With noise, some aliens jumped to their feet. Others shouted in languages that the translators couldn't keep up with. "You cannot do this," Ambassador Jit Kirk yelled. "The treaty is ready. We have spent 3 months working." Allison waited for the noise to die down. "Our decision is final. Humanity will not participate in a peace built on lies." The word lies caused another uproar. Ilara moved quickly to the platform. "Commander Wright," she said, her voice gentle but worried. "This is very sudden. Can you explain your reasons?" "I cannot," Allison replied. "The human delegation will leave Concordia Station within 3 hours. We wish you all safe journeys home." With that, she turned and walked out. The other humans followed her. The room behind them dissolved into chaos. Back in the human section of the station, officers and diplomats rushed to pack. Security teams guarded the halls as aliens tried to approach with questions. In her office, Allison sealed the last of the important documents. Kevin entered, looking over his shoulder. "Word is spreading," he said. 6 different ambassadors are demanding to speak with you." "Ignore them," she said. "Is the package ready for Ilara?" Kevin handed her a small data chip. "All the evidence. She needs to understand, but not enough to cause an immediate war." Allison took the chip and slipped it into her pocket. "Good." A loud voice came from the hallway. Security officers were blocking Ambassador Zutkirk from entering. "Let me speak." "To the commander," the Mantid demanded. "This insult cannot stand." Allison nodded to the guards who let the tall insect-like alien through. His forearms were raised in clear anger. "Ambassador," she said calmly, "we are busy. What do you want?" "Explanation," he clicked. "You humans agreed to these talks. You helped design the treaty. To leave now is an act of great disrespect." Allison looked at him closely. "Tell me, Ambassador, when did the Krex Empire promise your people the 3rd moon of Rigel 6? Was it before or after they agreed to give humans mining rights to the same moon? The mantide's antennae twitched in surprise. Yes, she continued. We know about the secret deals, all of them. Each promise that contradicts the words in the treaty. Each plan that would fall apart the moment the treaty was signed. Those are just politics, Jutkirk said, but his voice was less certain. No, Allison said firmly. Those are lies. And humans will not sign their names to lies. The mantid had no answer. An hour later, the human ship Defender received the last shuttle from the station. On the main deck, Admiral George Fuller watched as Commander Wright arrived. Report, he said. Done as ordered, sir, she replied. We left them confused and worried. Good. And the evidence? Dr. Martinez left just enough with High Counselor Alara. She'll figure out part of the truth, but not enough to start shooting right away. The Admiral nodded. And how long before they realize what we really learned? Commander Wright's face grew serious. Hard to say, but when 7 species discover that we know about their plan to attack Earth after the treaty signing, things will get very interesting. Admiral Fuller turned to look at the main screen. The Concordia station was growing smaller as they pulled away. Send the coded message to Earth Defense, he ordered. Tell them it's confirmed, the conspiracy is real. As the Defender jumped to faster-than-light speed back on the station, the panic was only beginning. Species that had barely trusted each other now eyed one another with new suspicion. High Counselor Alara floated alone in her chamber, holding the human data chip. Something terrible was happening, and somehow the humans had seen it coming. With shaking hands, she inserted the chip into her reader. The first words on the screen made her blood run cold. Evidence of planned attack on human space. The humans hadn't just left peace behind. They had exposed a galaxy of lies. 1 week after the humans left Concordia Station, Earth's orbital defense headquarters buzzed with activity. The massive ring-shaped structure orbited high above Earth, its windows looking down at the blue planet below. Admiral George Fuller stood in the main war room. His gray hair was cut short, and his uniform was perfectly clean. Around him, large screens showed maps of human space and the positions of all Earth ships. Show me the latest movement reports, he ordered. A young officer touched a control panel. One of the big screens changed to show red dots moving toward human space. 7 alien fleets have left their home systems, sir, the officer said. They're trying to hide their movements, but our deep space sensors are tracking them. Admiral Fuller studied the screen. Just as we thought. They're getting ready to attack. The door to the war room opened. Director Patricia Simmons walked in. She led Earth's intelligence services and rarely smiled. Today was no different. Admiral, she said with a nod, I have the final report you wanted. She placed a data pad on the table. The screen showed pictures of alien ships and weapons. These are from our undercover agents, she explained. The Kreks, mantids, and 5 other species have been building warships for months. They hide them in empty star systems. They planned to attack right after the treaty was signed. Admiral Fuller picked up the pad. And they think we still don't know? Correct. They believe we left because of some small treaty problems. They have no idea we discovered their real plan. The Admiral walked to the window. The oldest trick in the book. Sign a peace treaty, then attack when the enemy relaxes. Director Simmons nodded. General Drath of the Kreks Empire is leading them. He convinced the others that humans are too dangerous to let them grow stronger. He's not wrong about that, Fuller said with a small smile, especially now. A young communications officer interrupted them. Sir, we have an urgent message from Concordia Station. It's being sent on a private channel directly to Earth. Fuller raised an eyebrow. Who from? A Counselor Vax of the Saurian Union. He says it's extremely important. Put it through to my office, Fuller ordered. Director Simmons, you should hear this too. In his private office, Admiral Fuller activated the secure screen. The scaly face of a reptilian alien appeared. His eyes were large and yellow, his skin a pattern of green and brown. Counselor Vax, Fuller said. This is a surprise. Admiral, the alien said in a whisper, I risk my life sending this message. My government does not know I'm contacting you. Go on. I must warn you, 7 species joined together against humans. The Kreks forced smaller worlds to join them. My species had no choice. Fuller kept his face neutral. What is their plan? They will attack your colonies in 2 weeks. They believe they need to strike now before humans grow too powerful. Vax looked over his shoulder. I must send you important files, fleet locations, attack plans, weapons. Why are you telling us this, Counselor? Because I was on Earth once. I studied at your University of Oxford. I learned your history, your music, your art. I know humans are not the monsters General Drath claims. Director Simmons spoke from behind Fuller. How do we know this isn't a trick? You don't, Vax admitted. But the files I send will prove my words, and when the attack comes, remember that the Saurian Union joined only because they threatened to destroy our homeworld. The screen suddenly went dark. Connection lost, a computer voice announced. Admiral Fuller turned to Simmons. What do you think? We won't know if he's telling the truth until we see those files. And if he is? Director Simmons' face hardened. Then we need to be ready for war. Back on Concordia Station, things were falling apart. Without the humans, the different species started fighting with each other. The grand meeting hall, once a place of hope, now echoed with angry voices. High Counselor Ilara tried to keep peace. Please, she begged the representatives, we must remain calm. Calm? Ambassador Jutkirk of the Mantids clicked his mandibles. The humans have insulted all of us. They call us liars. A tall blue alien stood up. Perhaps because there are liars among us? Arguments broke out across the room. Some demanded that the humans be punished. Others wondered if the humans knew something they didn't. In her private chamber, Ilara studied the data chip from Dr. Martinez for the 5th time. The evidence was clear. 7 species had made a secret deal to attack human space after the treaty signing. Their leaders planned to divide human worlds between them. She felt sick. After 1,000 years of helping bring peace to the galaxy, she had almost been part of a terrible trap. A soft knock came at her door. Enter, she said. Counselor Vax of the Saurian Union stepped in. He looked nervous. High Counselor, he said. I need your help. What is wrong, Counselor? I have done something either very brave or very foolish. He hesitated. I warned the humans about the attack. Ilara's eyes widened. You contacted Earth? Yes. I sent them the attack plans. The Kreks forced my people to join them. We never wanted war. Ilara floated closer to him. You took a great risk. I know if the others find out, they will kill me. He looked at her with his yellow eyes. But I could not be part of this lie. 7 worlds planning to destroy another. It is wrong. Ilara nodded slowly. The humans knew. That's why they left. They are smarter than General Drath believed, Vax said. And now they will be ready. On the Kreks homeworld, General Drath stood before a map of human space. His gray skin was hard like stone, and small horns lined his head. As a member of the galaxy's oldest warrior race, he had fought in many wars. Move the fleet here, he ordered, pointing at a star system near Earth. We will strike their outer colonies first. A junior officer approached nervously. General, we have a problem. The humans have gone silent. What do you mean? All human communications have stopped. Their ships have disappeared from known routes. Their colonies show no activity. General Drath growled. They're hiding, preparing. Do you think they know? Another officer asked. Impossible. The plan was perfectly hidden. General Drath pounded his fist on the table. But we cannot wait any longer. Send the signal to our allies. The attack begins now, not in 2 weeks. As messengers hurried away, General Drath looked at the map again. Something was wrong. The humans had seemed so eager for peace. Why would they leave so suddenly? A cold feeling crept up his spine. Perhaps they knew more than he thought. Send scouts to human space, he ordered. I want to know what they're doing. But deep inside, General Drath felt something he had not felt in many years. Fear. 3 weeks had passed since the humans left the peace talks. The skies around Earth were quiet, but beneath that calm, The planet was ready for war. Captain Sofia Rodriguez stood on the bridge of the Earth flagship Defiance. The massive ship hung in space beyond Mars, hidden from most long-range scanners. Around it, 50 other warships waited in perfect formation. "Status report," Sofia ordered, her dark eyes scanning the main screen. "All ships report ready, Captain," her second officer replied. "The defense grid is active around all colonies. Earth's shield system is at full power." Sofia nodded. For 3 weeks they had prepared in silence. No ships traveled between human worlds. No messages went out on regular channels. To the rest of the galaxy, it looked like humans had simply disappeared. "Captain," the communications officer called. "Out. We're detecting a ship entering the solar system. It's small, moving slowly. Not a warship." "Show me," Sofia ordered. The main screen changed to show a sleek vessel with blue markings. It was moving carefully, its weapon systems clearly powered down. "It's a diplomatic ship from the Galactic Council," the officer reported. "They're broadcasting a request to talk." Captain Rodriguez touched her communication badge. "Inform Earth Command. We have visitors." In the grand meeting hall on Earth, Secretary Ryan Campbell waited. As the political leader of humanity, he rarely left the planet. Today was different. Today might decide if humans would fight a galactic war. The doors opened. Ambassador Lauren Jackson entered, recently appointed to replace Commander Wright as Earth's chief diplomat. Behind him walked 4 armed guards, then 3 aliens. The lead alien, tall with purple skin that seemed to shimmer in the light, stepped forward. Grand Envoy Thrix of the Galactic Council bowed slightly. "Secretary Campbell," he said in perfect English. "Thank you for allowing us to come." "State your business, Envoy," Campbell replied coolly. Thrix looked uncomfortable. "The Galactic Council has sent me to deliver an urgent message. Your sudden withdrawal from peace talks has caused great concern." "I'm sure it has," Campbell said. "The Council demands that Earth return to negotiations immediately," Thrix continued. "If you refuse, humanity will be declared enemies of galactic peace." The room grew very quiet. The human guards tightened their grips on their weapons. "Ambassador." Jackson spoke, his voice calm. "That sounds like a threat, Envoy." "It is reality," Thrix replied. 7 major species have already formed a coalition against you. They claim humans are preparing for war." Secretary Campbell smiled, but his eyes remained cold. "How interesting that you mentioned 7 species." He touched a control on the table. A large screen on the wall lit up, showing detailed maps of alien fleet movements. "Would these be the same 7 species moving their warships toward human space?" Campbell asked. Thrix's purple skin paled. I don't understand." "I think you do," Campbell said. "The Krex Empire, the Mantid Collective, and 5 others planned to attack us all along. They used the peace treaty as a cover. We left because we discovered their plan." "Impossible," Thrix whispered, but his eyes showed doubt. Campbell touched another control. The screen showed secret messages between the 7 species planning the attack on human worlds. "We know everything," Campbell said, "and now you have a choice. You can take our message back to the Galactic Council, or you can watch as we defend ourselves." Back on the Defiance, Captain Rodriguez received new orders. She turned to her crew. "It's time," she announced. "Activate Project Lighthouse." Throughout human space, hidden stations suddenly powered up. For years, humans had been building a secret defense network. Now, massive scanners and weapons platforms appeared where nothing had seemed to exist before. In the meeting hall, Secretary Campbell faced Grand Envoy Thrix. "Earth now gives its own ultimatum," he said firmly. "The 7 species planning to attack us must stand down their forces and agree to inspections. If they refuse, they will find that humans are not easy prey." Ambassador Jackson handed Thrix a data pad. "This is our new treaty draft. One with real checks and safeguards. One built on truth, not lies." Thrix looked at the pad in his hands. "The coalition will never agree to this." "Then they have chosen war," Campbell replied. A communication officer ran into the room. Mr. Secretary, the Krex fleet has just jumped into the Proxima Centauri system. They're heading for the human colony there. Campbell nodded, as if he had expected this. Captain Rodriguez, he said into his communicator, you have permission to proceed. In deep space, the Krex attack fleet moved toward the human colony. General Drath stood on the bridge of his command ship. Any sign of human defenses? He asked. Nothing, General, his officer replied. The colony appears unprotected. Drath frowned. It seemed too easy. Move forward, but stay alert. Suddenly, alarms blared across the ship. The main screen showed dozens of human warships appearing all around them. They seemed to come from nowhere, their weapons already aimed at the Krex fleet. Impossible, Drath shouted. Where did they come from? On the Defiance, Captain Rodriguez looked at the trapped Krex ships on her screen. Open a channel to their commander, she ordered. General Drath's face appeared on her screen, his expression a mix of rage and shock. This is Captain Sofia Rodriguez, of Earth Fleet, she said. Your forces are surrounded. Power down your weapons immediately. How did you know we would be here? Drath demanded. We've been watching you for months, Sofia replied. Every plan, every ship movement. We know it all. Around the Krex fleet, more human ships appeared, boxing them in completely. Stand down, General, Rodriguez said, or we will open fire. For the first time in his long military career, General Drath realized he had been completely outmaneuvered. Somehow the humans had known his plans from the start. Lower weapons, he ordered bitterly. We surrender. Back on Earth, Secretary Campbell watched the reports coming in. Similar scenes played out across 7 different locations. Human forces appeared exactly where the alien attack fleets had planned to strike, catching them by surprise. The Mantid fleet has retreated, an officer reported. The others are standing down. Campbell turned to Grand Envoy Thrix, whose face showed complete shock. Now, Campbell said, shall we discuss a real peace treaty? One where everyone tells the truth? Thrix nodded slowly. The Galactic Council will want to know how humans did this. How you knew? Secretary Campbell smiled. We watched, we listened, and most importantly, we took threats seriously. He looked at the screen showing the surrendered Krex ships. Tell the galaxy that humanity wants peace, he said. Real peace. But we will always be ready for those who want war. As Grand Envoy Thrix prepared to return to the Galactic Council with Earth's message, the stars around human space shone peacefully. But now, those stars watched over a changed galaxy, one where humanity had proven it would not be pushed around or tricked. The ultimatum had been delivered, and humanity had shown it had the power to back it up. 2 months after humanity revealed their knowledge of the planned attack, representatives from across the galaxy gathered on a new neutral ground. This time, they met on a moon orbiting the gas giant Epsilon Eridani IV. The meeting place was a large dome built just for these talks. Dr. Elizabeth Turner walked through the main hall, watching alien delegates prepare for the day's session. As Earth's expert on how different species think and behave, she had an important job at these new peace talks. Dr. Turner, a voice called. She turned to see Admiral Fuller approaching. He had traded his formal military uniform for a simpler diplomatic outfit, but he still walked like a soldier. Admiral, she greeted him. Ready for today? As ready as I'll ever be, he replied. I prefer straightforward battles to all this talking. Elizabeth smiled. This is a different kind of battle, one with words instead of weapons. They entered the main meeting chamber. Unlike the grand room on Concordia Station, this one was designed for honesty. The circular table had no head position. Everyone sat as equals. The walls contained sensors that could detect lies from most species. At one side of the room, General Drath sat with guards behind him. The once proud Krex commander now represented his species as a defeated leader. His face showed no emotion, but his eyes followed the humans with clear hatred. High Counselor Alara floated to the center of the room. After the failed attack, she had asked to continue as mediator. The humans agreed, as she had not been part of the conspiracy. "Representatives of the galaxy," she began, "today we continue our work toward real peace. Not one built on secret plans and lies, but one of true understanding." Admiral Fuller leaned toward Dr. Turner. "Do you think they really understand yet?" Elizabeth watched the alien faces around the room. "Some do. Others are still in shock that humans outsmarted them." The first speaker was Counselor Vax of the Saurian Union. After warning humans about the attack, he had become an important voice for smaller worlds. "My people joined the conspiracy because we were threatened," he admitted openly. "We believed we had no choice. Now we see there is always a choice." Many delegates nodded. After the failed attack, 12 smaller species had broken away from their powerful allies. They now looked to humans for protection. General Drath spoke next, his voice bitter. "The Krex Empire agrees to the inspection terms. Our military bases will be open to observers." He glared at the humans. "But we demand to know how humans knew our plans. How did they place ships exactly where we would attack?" Admiral Fuller stood. "That information remains classified, but I will tell you this. Humans have always prepared for the worst while hoping for the best." Dr. Turner stepped forward with a data pad. "What I can share is our new proposal for all species." She touched a control, and images appeared on screens around the room. "We call it the Transparency Protocol," she explained. "A system where all fleet movements must be reported, where weapons development is shared knowledge, where lies have no place in diplomacy." Many delegates looked uncomfortable at this idea. Secrets had been part of galactic politics for thousands of years. "High Counselor," Alara studied the proposal. "This would change everything." "That's the point," Elizabeth replied. "The old way nearly led to war. We need a new way." As the day went on, more details were discussed. Some species argued against the changes. Others, especially those who had been bullied by stronger worlds, supported human ideas. During a break, Admiral Fuller led Dr. Turner to a private room where they could speak freely. "It's working better than I expected," he admitted. "Having Drath here, defeated but alive, sends a powerful message." Elizabeth nodded. "Fear would only make them fight harder. Respect gives them reason to listen." "And the hidden defenses?" Fuller asked. "Should we tell them about those?" "Not all details," she advised. "But they should know humans have protected their space for years. It shows we were never the aggressive newcomers they thought we were." When the meeting resumed, Admiral Fuller addressed the gathered delegates. "There's something you should understand about humans," he said. "Long before these peace talks, we built defense stations throughout our territory. We placed sensors that could detect ships entering our space. We prepared for the possibility that not everyone wanted peace." General Drath's eyes narrowed. "You were planning for war all along." "No," Fuller corrected him. "We were ensuring we would survive if others planned for war. There's a difference." The room grew quiet as aliens considered this. For many, it changed how they viewed humans, not as reckless newcomers to the galaxy, but as careful, intelligent beings who valued their safety. Near the end of the day, High Counselor Alara brought forward the first draft of what would be called the Sol Accords, a new peace treaty built on the human principles of verification and transparency. "This is just the beginning," she said, "but it is an honest beginning." As delegates read through the document, Dr. Turner watched their reactions. Some seemed worried, others relieved. A few even looked hopeful. Commander Allison Wright and Dr. Kevin Martinez, who had made the difficult choice to withdraw from the original peace talks, joined the meeting by video link from Earth. "You were right to leave when you did," High Counselor Alara told them. "Your actions prevented a war that would have harmed many worlds." Allison nodded. "We didn't want to leave. We wanted real peace. We still do." As the day ended, representatives from all 26 species agreed to continue work on the new treaty. For the first time, they would build an agreement based on what was true, not what was convenient. Outside the meeting dome, Dr. Turner stood with Admiral Fuller, looking up at the stars. The gas giant Epsilon Eridani 4 filled half the sky, its swirling clouds glowing in the light of its sun. "Do you think it will work?" Fuller asked. "Real peace?" Elizabeth considered the question. "Not perfect, not right away. But yes, eventually. They've seen what happens when they underestimate humans, and they've seen we don't seek revenge when we win." The Admiral nodded. "We just want our place in the galaxy. And now we have it," she said. "Not as the dangerous newcomers, but as the architects of a more honest community of worlds." As night fell on the moon, delegates from across the galaxy continued their talks. The panic that had started when humanity pulled out of peace negotiations had turned into something unexpected, a chance for a better future for all species. The humans had not been running from peace. They had been demanding a peace worth having. 1 year had passed since the signing of the Sol Accords. The galaxy was changing in ways few had expected. Earth had become the center of a new coalition of worlds committed to transparency and mutual defense. Jack Collins stood at the observation deck of the new Earth embassy on the planet Rigel Prime. As the human ambassador to the Rigel system, he represented Earth's growing influence. The city below him sparkled with lights from a dozen different species living and working together. "Quite a view," said a voice behind him. Jack turned to see Nora Winters, his security chief. She had served in Earth's defense forces during the crisis and now led the embassy's protection team. "Hard to believe this was nearly a battlefield a year ago," Jack replied. Nora nodded. The Kreks had marked this whole system for capture in their invasion plans. And now we're trading partners. The door to the observation deck opened. Mira, Jack's assistant, entered with an urgent look on her face. "Ambassador, the meeting is about to start. Everyone is waiting." Jack straightened his jacket. "Time to see if this new alliance holds." In the grand meeting hall of the embassy, representatives from 14 species sat around a table. Some had once been enemies. Others had been neutral in the conflict. All now looked to Earth for leadership. Jack took his place at the table. Across from him sat Zexus Troll, the new mantid ambassador. The insect-like alien's predecessor had been one of the conspiracy leaders, but Zexus Troll represented the new government that had taken power after the crisis. "Ambassador Collins," Zexus Troll began, "my government has studied the human proposal for the Joint Defense Initiative. We have concerns." Jack nodded. "We expected that. Please share them." "You ask all members to share military technology. This goes beyond the Sol Accords." Several other representatives shifted in their seats. This was the difficult part of building trust after centuries of secrets. "The initiative isn't about taking your technology," Jack explained. "It's about working together to create new defenses that protect all our worlds." A small green alien spoke up. "My people support this plan. We have suffered attacks for generations because we lacked strong defenses. Together, we can be safe." As the debate continued, Jack noticed that something had changed from the old days of galactic politics. Species that once would never speak to each other were having real conversations. Disagreements happened openly rather than through secret plots. This was the human way spreading through the galaxy. On the former Krex colony world of Taurus 3, General Drath watched workers dismantle a military base. After the failed attack on humanity, the Krex Empire had been forced to give up 7 conquered worlds. Their once mighty military was now closely watched by observers from Earth and its allies. "They take everything from us," Drath muttered to his aide. "We took much from others when we were strong," the younger Krex replied, a new view that was becoming common among the younger generation. Drath turned away in disgust. He had lost more than a battle with the humans. He was losing the future of his own people. A human observer approached them. Lieutenant Ben Foster nodded politely. "The dismantling is on schedule, General," he said. "Your cooperation is appreciated." "We have no choice," Drath growled. Lieutenant Foster looked at the former base. "There's always a choice." Your people chose a better path than continuing a pointless conflict. A path of weakness, Drath said. A path of survival, Foster corrected. And perhaps something more in time. As the human walked away, Drath felt the bitter truth. Humans had not destroyed the Kreks after their victory. They had not taken revenge. Instead, they had offered a way forward, strict but fair. It was not what he would have done if positions were reversed. Perhaps that was why humans had won. Back on Earth, in the headquarters of the new Galactic Alliance, Dr. Elizabeth Turner met with Commander Allison Wright. Both women had been key figures in preventing the war and now helped shape the peace. "The education exchange program is ready," Elizabeth said, looking at reports on her screen. 27 species have signed up to send students to Earth universities. "And humans will study on their worlds," Allison added. "Learning works both ways," Elizabeth nodded. "Some Galactic Council members still resist our ideas. They think we're building an empire." "We're building understanding," Allison corrected. "Something much harder but more lasting." A young officer entered the room. "Commander, we've received the deep space reports. The border sensors detected something unusual." Allison's expression turned serious. "Show me." The officer displayed a star map on the wall screen. At the far edge of known space, strange energy readings flashed. "Unknown ships?" Elizabeth asked. "Not matching any known design," the officer confirmed. They appeared briefly, then vanished. Allison studied the readings. "Alert Admiral Fuller. Increase sensor coverage in that sector." After the officer left, Elizabeth looked troubled. "Do you think it's a new threat?" "I think the galaxy is bigger than we know," Allison replied. "And we need to be ready for whatever comes next." On Concordia Station, now rebuilt as the headquarters of the Galactic Council, High Counselor Ilara met with Counselor Vax. The Saurian had become her trusted advisor. "Reports from Earth sector are promising," Ilara said. "Their alliance grows stronger each month." Vax nodded. "Many worlds that feared humans now seek their protection. And those who plotted against them? Learning to adapt," Vax said. "Even the Kreks are slowly changing. Their younger leaders speak of cooperation rather than conquest." Ilara floated toward the window, looking out at the ships docked at the station. Human vessels now regularly visited Concordia, bringing trade and diplomats. "When humans left this station a year ago, I thought we faced disaster," she said. "Instead, they showed us a better way. By forcing truth into the open," Vax agreed. "Truth and strength," Ilara added. "A rare combination in our galaxy." As they talked, a message arrived from Earth. The unknown readings at the edge of space had been detected, by other sensors too. Something new was approaching the known worlds. "It seems we may face challenges beyond our old rivalries," Ilara said, reading the report. Vax stood straighter. "Then we are fortunate that humans joined the galactic community when they did." "Yes," Ilara agreed, "because now we face the unknown together, not divided by lies." As night fell across Earth, Admiral Fuller stood in the control center of Earth Defense Command. The large screen showed the status of human colonies and allied worlds. Green lights indicated peace and stability throughout human space. But at the edge of the map, yellow warning signals flashed. The unknown readings had appeared again, stronger this time. "What do you think it is, sir?" a young officer asked. "I don't know," Fuller admitted. "But whatever comes, we'll be ready." He thought about how close the galaxy had come to war just 1 year before. How humans had nearly faced 7 enemies alone. Now, 26 species worked together, sharing information, building trust. The panic when humanity pulled out of peace. Negotiations had led to something no one expected: real peace. Not perfect, not complete, but growing stronger each day. And if new challenges came from beyond known space, they would face them the human way. Together. Honest. Strong.